Located in Henrico County, Virginia, and founded in 1611, Henricus was one of the first few settlements in the New World. It was considered a more tactical advantage than Jamestown because it is protected further up the James River in Virginia. Henricus is possibly haunted because of war, death, famine, and the eventual abandonment of the site. Do the spirits of early English settlers still linger here? Or did the natives cry out from land and home lost? America, a country rich in history and blood on the land. These emotions left out on the battlefields and in the homes of Americans all across the country has led to many encounters with the paranormal. I want to bring you the most compelling evidence of the supernatural on this episode of Hauntings of America, Henricus.
Here we are.
Here we are at the Henricus, kind of a reenactment style place. They built what they think is how the fort looked back in that day, and they think this is where it was, but there's actually no historical proof that this is exactly where Henricus was. That's kind of been lost to history, but right now, because of coronavirus, it's actually closed, so we can't go inside. So we'll just kind of walk this way, just kind of walk along the fort, and see what it would have looked like back then.
This is the site where on March 22nd, 1622, an Indian attack killed 347 Englishmen between here and Jamestown, which has become known as the Indian Massacre of 1622. What was once a growing town fell abandoned.
The spot right here that you can get to, you can kind of see the house a lot better.
Wow, look at these wooden pegs.
Yeah, so they built it the way that it would have been built.
You can just imagine that at its height, more than 2,000 colonists lived here.
You can kind of see why they would choose this place.
It's beautiful. It's what a great place to start a colony.
Imagine just coming up the river and seeing this and like, yep, this is where we're going to stop.
I think I probably would have done it.
It's pretty strategic because you can see all directions.
Yeah, true.
Near this site is where Pocahontas and John Rolfe were married by Reverend Alexander Whitaker with Sir Thomas Dale in attendance.
So a little history about this plaque. In 1619, the Virginia Company of London decreed that here in Henrico would be the first college in the New World. So what ended up happening was, in 1622, when they had that Indian massacre, this whole site was abandoned. And so what they ended up doing was, once this was gone, this was no longer going to be the first site of the first college. So instead, they eventually decided to make William and Mary College based off of those funds. So it was going to be here, but then they changed the site to Williamsburg instead of Henrico. Henrico goes by a few names. It goes by Henrico, Henricus, Henricopolis, and a few others. It's crazy to think that there was once 2,000 people that lived here, maybe more, and then now there's nobody. Like, this was going to be a bustling town. It was probably going to be as big as Williamsburg, but then the massacre happened and they abandoned everything. It'd probably be a good spot to do an interview session. Yeah, so we are here at Henricus. What I'm doing now is I'm going to pull out my voice recorder. I think that this is a good spot. There we go. Let's turn on. So right here we have a monument for the college that was chartered to be built here. We also have a monument for the colony that was started here. This foundation right here is the foundation of an old lighthouse that overlooked this bluff over here with the river. So what I'm going to do is try to communicate with either the lighthouse keeper, the Indians that were here, the colonists, or maybe even soldiers from the Revolutionary War, whether they were British or American, or people from the Civil War. So first we'll walk over to the lighthouse, try to communicate there and see what we get. So my name is Will.
And this is Daniel.
And we're here to talk to you. We're here to talk with anyone that wants to listen. What I have in my hand, you can be able to talk into and we can hear you. I just want to ask a few questions and see if you're open to talking with us. I'm going to leave it sitting right here. All you have to do is come up to it and talk into it, okay? So again, my name is Will, and I just want to know, what is your name? Who am I talking with? Are you British? Are you Indian? Are you fighting in a war of rebellion? How old are you? Are you male? Are you female? What is this place called? Do you know what happened here? What happened here in 1622? How many people died? So I'm going to leave this voice recorder here. You can talk into it, say anything you want. Daniel and I will be right over here next to this monument. So this is the first investigation that I'm doing during the day. There are some pros and cons to doing a paranormal investigation during the day as opposed to at night. So during the day, this is a location that we would not be able to go to at night. This park is closed at night, so we couldn't be able to get to historical places like here, Jamestown, a few places like Yorktown Battlefield you can't get into during the night. So now we're here to be at their homes, at the homes of the people that used to live here. This is the place that they spent most of their time. So if you believe that there is any sort of residual energy that could be here, this would be the spot to do it at. It wouldn't be at necessarily a faraway place from the site that we have to go to at night. It just happens to be close to it. Here you're actually at their footsteps. So what's great about doing this during the day is that you get a better connection with the spirits that were here. Of course, most of them were awake during the day, so you can think that there's a lot more energy, there's a lot more emotion during the day than there would be at night. There could be a better opportunity for some sort of activity. I haven't really studied the differences in activity between the day and night, so it'd be pretty interesting to see if we get more voice recordings or less voice recordings during the day as opposed to the other investigations that we've done. The one drawback from doing it during the day is that there are other people here. There's a lot more people than usual. Luckily right now there is no one else around because of coronavirus. However, during the day, there's going to be a lot more noises. Right across from us, there's a bridge. There's a bunch of cars going by. You can hear a lot of noise from that you couldn't necessarily pick up with your own ears, but you can hear on the voice recorder. And sometimes you can misinterpret that as a spirit voice. There's also boats that are going by. There's some people hiking down the road, and you can kind of hear their voices. So you really have to, as a paranormal investigator, really figure out what is the ambient background noise, like a hiker, birds, sticks cracking, as opposed to an actual paranormal voice, which we've talked about before, how to be able to tell the differences between those. A paranormal voice comes across more as like a distant whisper than it does like someone far off. It sounds a lot closer, it sounds a lot more distinct than it normally would as a person talking, like Daniel and myself talking to each other. It sounds more off in the distance, it sounds more gravelly, and there's a hard difference between a male and a female voice. They almost sound similar when you get to the astral field of where a ghost is able to speak from. So one of the fun things about going to an investigation at night is that it is kind of creepy. You have that creepiness factor to it where you can't really see in front of you. Here you can be able to see everything. I can be able to tell what each and every shadow is. I know it's a tree or someone walking in the distance. At night, you don't know if it's an animal or if it's an actual ghost. But the one thing that I will say is that it's almost a little bit creepier to get a voice during the day, because it makes you feel like, wow, they are walking among us when we least expect it. Because you expect to get, you know, voices or bumps in the night, but not bumps during the day. So that's very interesting. I think that if we do get something during the day, I think that that can really raise people's awareness of, hey, you know, you don't have to go out to a location just because it's nighttime, or you have to do something at 3 a.m. because that's the witching hour. No, you can come out here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and be able to communicate with the spirits of the past. Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off, but before I do, again, my name is Will, this is Daniel, and if there's anything else that you want to say to us, now is the opportunity. Let us know that you're here. Let other people hear you. If you spoke into it, thank you so much for your time. And if you're so interested in what we're doing, we're gonna walk this way. You're more than welcome to come with us and communicate with us still.
A vulture?
It's flying around. It's right behind
It's huge.
you. Yeah, look at it. There it goes. It's on top of the house. So there it goes again. You can see it right up here. So I've heard that Native American or Indian spirits typically don't come back as a corporeal ghost that you think of. A lot of the times it's thought that the spirits come back as an animal, such as a bird, a turkey vulture, an eagle, anything like that. Anything that they may have seen as like a sort of god or something that they were interested in, or the name that they were called by. They seem to come back as some sort of spirit animal. And to see something like that while we're doing this kind of ghost investigation makes you kind of wonder, you know, if you believe in that, you know, what if that is the spirit of a Native American that's kind of flying around, seeing its home or seeing the place that, you know, it happened to die in battle when it was fighting the colonists that were here. I think that's pretty interesting. There's a couple of them flying up in the trees. Okay, so hopefully what I'm thinking is that the spirits of whoever it happens to be still sees these homes and travels to it as a point of comfort or a point of feeling like you're at home, being with these buildings. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the voice recorder, set it on this log, and see what we get. On that stump right there, it's what I call a voice recorder. You can talk into it, and we can hear anything that you have to say. Speak into it, and tell me your name. How old are you? Is there a civil war?
let me know when I say the correct name of this place. Is it Henrico? Henricus? Henricopolis? What do you call it? Thank you so much for your time. So at this investigation, I am not able to bring you any sort of paranormal evidence that Henricus is haunted. I debated whether or not to even upload this video because I want to entertain you guys, but at the same time, I also have to be genuine with myself and honest with you. I will never fake any evidence in order to entertain my audience, period. My goal is to find true evidence of the paranormal, because I believe it exists. If you're looking to be scared, or to hear or see a ghost in every single video, then you've come to the wrong channel. You won't find that here. Just like for a paranormal investigator, there will be many locations that you're expecting to get an EVP, a picture, or see something, but in actuality that is just not the case. I hope to return to this location again when it opens. So, thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.